Bum 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 bum. Les Français, les Français, les Français, les Français, les Français, les Français. Les Français, les Français, les Français, les Français, les Français, la 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 la, les Français. How's everybody doing? It is good to be here tonight. How is everyone? Who's already in the chat? Steve A, Sawyer Fam, Cincy. I saw you guys were already in a long time ago. Andrew Spirell, 2-Bit Steak, Mike Lizak, Bourbon Bites, Clifton, who's on right after this. So if you aren't subscribed to Clifton and you don't hang out at his, at his live streams, why not? What's wrong with you? I really am glad to be here. Cheesy Surrender Monkeys. Oh, we're starting out with that stuff already. Cool. I'm always a little nervous to do one of these without my wonderful, wonderful, lovely partner, Erica. Always a little bit scary for me because the banter's a lot of fun. She has her conference call. She's doing weekly conference calls that she has to attend to these days. That's why she's on every other Thursday. So this is a Thursday she's not going to be with us, which sucks. But you do what you do. You carry on. And we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. Where are the pasties? Yes, Pasty Lovin' will make a return. I promise. Pasty Lovin' will make his presence known. Maybe not tonight, maybe not tomorrow, but someday and soon. Excellent lighting and camera setup. It's not bad. It could be worse. I was talking with Erica though. I need to get another O-ring because right now we've got like a lamp over here. We've got an O-ring over here, and it looks all right, but I come off kind of yellowish on one side and way too bright on the other, and it comes off looking weird. But that's something we are going to have to address at some point. Should we do the tassels, the little tassels? I'm looking at both. I was gonna get both. So I was thinking of doing the little, I'm not on StreamYard. I can't highlight your comment. I'm using OBS right now. Otherwise, I would totally highlight your comment, Jason Busey. Dang, that is one benefit of using StreamYard. I was thinking the little tassels would be fun. But I also, they've got really fun, like rainbow glitter pasties in fun shapes. Both would be good. O-ring sounds perverted, so it's perfect for this show. All right, so a couple of things before we get into the French stuff. My bit rate is lower than the recommended bit rate. That's weird. We're going to worry about that later. Hopefully, if the camera freezes on us, I have a backup if that becomes a problem, so that's okay. I've got a backup camera. It's not as nice, but we'll work with it. If I freeze up, we'll make it work. Just cut the nipples out of the shirt. That would also work. Cohen's in. Good to see you. What's everybody drinking tonight? I'd love to know. Are we getting a robotic sound? That's annoying. If you're getting a robotic sound, please tell me, because that means our bit rate is messed up. And that would suck. I don't like that. What do we got? Angels Envy cast strength for Steve A. Nice. We're getting an echo. Well, that sucks. I don't like that. Maybe, let me try something real quick. Just for shits and giggles. Let's see if this works any better. Tell me if this sounds any better. If it sounds bad, hopefully this this other microphone will be better. I've got two I can run it through, so if it sounds better this way, let me know. Sounds the same. All right. Well, we're just gonna run with it. We'll troubleshoot it later. Anyway, so a couple of news, little bits of news. We killed our bottle of Malort. I think this was last week's stream. We killed this. So, against Erica's wishes, I went out and got a wonderful new one. Oh, who's excited for this baby? Who's excited? Who's excited? Jason Busey already started us off with a $5 super chat, which is awesome. So I'm gonna say $20 total. No, wait. For a $20 super chat, I will break this open and I will drink an entire Glencairn's worth of it. Right away. All right? All right, that's the deal. A $20 super chat, I'll break it out and I'll drink an entire Glencairn's worth of Malort. So, yeah. I want to talk about some new releases that are coming out because I'm super excited about. There you go, Jason Busey. Now I said a full Glencairn. I didn't say what size Glencairn. This is an official Glencairn. This is one of the Bastards Ball Glencairns. So, yes, all right, we're breaking it out. Should have made it higher. I should have made it higher. Jason Busey's crazy. He's a crazy person. All right, there we go. A little more. All right, first drink of the night. Everything has to be better after this. No, I didn't say I had to use a normal Glencairn. All right, cheers everybody to a new bottle of Malort. I just tried to put the cap back on a Glencairn. That was dumb. Sawyer Fam from Cincy coming through with a $24.99. Damn, you guys are being generous tonight. All right, I'm not doing another full Glencairn, but I will have another little sip for you, my man, for you. Just for you, Mr. Sawyer. Thank you. Angus Burrell, has it grown on me? No, I'll say that. I don't think it's very good. Do I have a less hard time drinking it. I have a way less hard time drinking it these days. So, that's nice. Cohen's asking if I've had the Kilchoman Small Batch number 3. No, I haven't. So, here's the thing. I have asked our spirits director to order in some of that so I can buy some. Unfortunately, the distributor for Wisconsin is giving us a really hard time, and for whatever reason, just refuses to bring in any Kilchoman, like any new Kilchoman products. All we have on the shelf right now is Macure Bay and the old Meet the Pete. So I was talking with Erica, and we haven't really been doing any runs down to Chicago because of the virus. But I was talking to her, and I was saying, you know what? Let's head down, let's hit the border, let's hit a Binny's, and just buy up all the Kilchoman they have, because we're never going to see it here in Wisconsin. I don't know why our distributor decided he just doesn't want to sell Kilchoman, or they don't want to sell Kilchoman in the state of Wisconsin. Malort's already coming up. Ugh. Oh my God. But for whatever reason, the guys who have the Malort distribution here in Wisconsin just don't want to move product. Whatever. So we're going to have to run down to Chicago and just buy up everything they have. So, Ed O'Meara and Alec Baldwin and Glencairn. Oh my God, that's actually a fantastic idea for a video. That would be amazing. All right, this one's for Sawyer Fam. Thank you for the lovely donation. Really appreciate it. All right, So, tonight is focusing on French whiskey, or at least the French whiskey that we can get here in the United States. Some of it. Yeah, our distributor is wacky. I don't understand the thinking. I don't get it. I wish, yeah, because I was trying to get some of the Amburach. I was like, hey, can you get me some Amburach? And they were like, no, we don't really sell Kilhoman here in Wisconsin. Why? A pamphlet series, your distributor's a dick. Yeah, right. So yeah, French whiskey though, this is not something we've paid a lot of attention to on the show. I think we did Bastille. We did this Bastille a while back on an episode, like a proper episode. But obviously the French are not a traditional whiskey making country, as opposed to Ireland, Scotland, Canada, America, you know, those four are kind of the traditional ones. Steve A's talking crap about Wisconsin in the chat. I see you. But the French consume so much whiskey. It's no wonder that they decided to kind of get in on the game. They drink more blended Scotch, I think, than any other country in the world. I think that's still an accurate statement. And they probably drink a lot of single malt too. I just know they drink more blended than anybody else. Which is funny because you think of France, you think of cognac, right? Which I've always said cognac, but other people have said cognac. I don't know which one is right. I'm not really good at pronouncing things. So they actually ship most of their cognac out into the world, to the United States, Britain, you know, wherever. And they import all this Scotch. They drink so much Scotch. So it made sense that some French people would want to get in on the whiskey game, especially because they have distilleries already set up. Hey, Eli Cook, one of our newest patrons. Super excited to have you on the Patreon, my dude. Thank you so much, Eli. That's awesome. That's fantastic. If you want to become a patron and get access to our exclusive content over there, we do an exclusive video every week just for our patrons. So those are only on Patreon. You'll never see them on YouTube, unless for some reason I get drunk and decide to put them up on YouTube. But I won't, out of respect for our patrons. So let's start out with this one. This is Bastille, Levostil blended whiskey from who is this? Ducart State? I don't know how to pronounce this. I don't know how to pronounce French. I'm sorry. I'm really bad at this. Ducart? I don't know. But it's from Anglo-Lemay, France, which, to my understanding, is in southwest France. This is their blended whiskey. All three of our whiskeys tonight are actually finished in French Limousin casks. So Limousin oak is a oak specific to France, commonly used in the aging of cognac. So we're gonna see how that affects things. We're gonna start out with the blended version. We also have two single malts, one from Bastille, one from Brenne. Now there are two other major distilleries in France. There's the Wargaham. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right because I'm terrible at French, not France. I'm terrible at pronouncing French. Sir Tannen's in. I didn't recognize your little button. It changed. But and then there's also Glen Armor, which is the Breton. It's a Breton distillery, and it's actually it's all their stuff is named in the Celtic language of Breton. So Brittany is one of the Celtic nations, and I mean whiskey is Celtic. They were leaning into the Celtic shit, so yeah, that's fun. I think they have a peated and an unpeated version, so that's neat. But we don't have any of those. I don't know if those are available in the United States. these are the ones that we had readily available. So, I do my French very twangy. I do my French bad, is what it is. Liberté, égalité, et fraternité. That's French, right? But Bastille is actually a guy. The guy who founded this he had an Irish mother, French father. Decided to make whiskey in France. Obviously, it's named for Levostil, the prison that held people during the Ancien Régime, the French monarchy. And when the French people were like, all right, we don't need a fucking monarch anymore, let's get rid of these motherfuckers, they stormed the Bastille, which is still celebrated to this day. So we probably should have saved this episode for Bastille Day. Bastille Day is actually a big deal here in Milwaukee. We have a very large Bastille Day celebration. So, which I think every ethnic group in Milwaukee has a festival. Like, no matter, like, every single ethnic group who has come to Milwaukee has some kind of festival. The French have Bastille Day. The Irish have a fest. The Scottish kind of just globbed onto the Irish fest because there's not a lot of Scottish people. But they also have their Highland Games. Like, everybody gets a fest. The Italians have Festa. We've got Indian Summer, African World Day. Like, everybody gets a fest here in Milwaukee. So, Quercus alba is low-tier French oak. It's all about Quercus petrea. Isn't Quercus alba North American oak? I thought Quercus alba was American oak, and Quercus petrea, however you say that, is European. But I may be wrong. Okay, let's talk about this Bastille. Also, I do like on the labeling that it's Bastille, handcrafted, 1789, and then 1789 celebrates the French Revolution. Like, it was added in at the bottom just to make sure that everybody knew what the hell they were talking about. Then again, for dumb Americans like me, there's a good chance I wouldn't have known, right? It smells very much like a blended whiskey. It's a light. It has that kind of caramely maltiness, but with a very. It's not a pronounced fruitiness, but you can tell that this is like kind of that raw, berry-y fruitiness you get with some grain whiskeys, or at least I do. I think I get a lot of, maybe not, I don't know. It comes off as a very, like, weird mixture of, like, cucumber water and melon. Like, just a general fruitiness. I always feel like general fruitiness always smells to me just kind of like melon, honeydew melon, or something like that. Oh, hey! Stanley Wagner Jr. says, first time here, the Bourbon Buddies sent him. That's awesome! Well, thank you to the Bourbon Buddies, and thank you so much for the kind super chat. That's super nice of you. Thank you so much. That's really cool. Alba is American, Robur is European. Okay, thank you, Jason. I appreciate it. And then Quercus, what's the last one? There's obviously Mizunara, Quercus Mongolia, and then there's also Quercus Oregon. There's an Oregon version, which I can't remember off the top of my head. Somebody help me out with that. Mongolica, yes. Quercus Mongolica is Mizunara. Yeah, I gotta say, this Bastille though, it's a little too sweet for me. It's a little too sweet. It comes off with it's very sugary. It's very wood caramely on the front, which is not usually my thing. It tastes like there's a lot of sugar in there. It does have a nice slight spice to it. There is a kind of a rosemary thing. It's not peppery though. It's not a really dark pepper that I really love, that really dark tannic pepper. This is more of a vegetal green spice, like rosemary, like thyme or savory. But yeah, it's pretty much just, it's like very light, very easygoing. There's not a lot there. Caramel, savory, just a hint of wood, I don't know how much that limousine cask really contributed to this one. When I think of like a French cask, like a French stave, I usually think of that real nice, like that spicy tannic. Very, very, not black pepper, maybe a white pepper kind of thing. Like a white pepper. I'm not getting that here. It doesn't have that really deep spice that I would have liked. But it is just kind of like, and this is supposed to be the baseline drinker, right? Chris Beaton also says that this is his first Rock Gut stream. That's awesome! Welcome, Mr. Beaton. That's so cool. I'm glad you watched the videos. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. But thank you also for joining us for the stream. That's really cool. So, Garyana, Quercus Garyana is Oregon oak. That's the one. That stuff is fucking fantastic. I love me some Garyana. The stuff, who's doing the annual Garyana releases? It's not High West, it's somebody else. Why can't I think of it? I'm gonna look it up real quick. Because I can. I'm sitting at a computer right here. Garyana Westland. There we go. Not High West, Westland. Yep, AJ got that. All right, let's get into the actual single malt. So again, Bastille single malt, French single malt. It's finished in limousine oak casks. So I assume, they don't tell us, but I assume refill casks for the first aging regimen. That's a pretty safe bet. Whenever they don't tell you what it is, it's probably refill casks. But this is actually their single malt. So blended over here, single malt here. They obviously went with a nice darker label for this one. Which also, if you guys ever produce a whiskey and are trying to decide how to label it, like this is okay, but never ever make a clear UPC, like just clear with black lines. It's the worst. It's the worst to try to scan that shit through at a liquor store. Don't do it. Don't do it. Like, this is okay. The regular UPC is okay. None of that clear stuff on black. Is the whiskey darker? Yes. Yeah, I would say significantly so. This is also at 43% alcohol, so they definitely didn't proof it down quite as much as this one. I'm also guessing this has a lot of young grain in it. So, Rev Collins, he's got to head out, but thank you for coming by. Really appreciate it. Oh, and everyone, we've got 30 people in the chat. Why aren't you hitting the like button? Won't you hit the like button for your old Uncle Ed? Won't you do that for me? We would appreciate it. Sir Tannen, it was the worst. Hey, thanks, Cliff. All right, let's get into the single malt. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, I like this one a lot more already. This one, I'm digging this. It's got a really lovely, like if the first Bastille was melony, right? This one is actually raisiny. Thank you, Aladdin Sane. That's awesome. You're good people. I know I can count on you. Yeah, this is what I was looking for, you guys. When I said I wanted that limousine, that spicy, a little bit of that tannic prickle, the nose on this is where it's at. Yeah, kind of a raisiny, plummy thing, like a figgy smell to it, which I don't think this is sherry casked at all. That's usually where you get that sherry smell, the raisin, the nuttiness. Usually you're getting that from sherry casks. This doesn't say it's sherry cask. I mean, it could be refill sherry, but it definitely isn't like first fill or predominantly finished in sherry. It does not say anything about added coloring, and it is a non-age statement. So there could be caramel color in here. That is absolutely true. That's absolutely true. Yeah. This is... Ooh, that is a dark, burned, like the crispy caramel you get when you burn... When you torch it. When you torch caramel, you get that crispy layer of caramel. That's what this is. But it's backed up with a really nice kind of a black tea. A little bit of that plum. And just a healthy amount of like a darker, like that darker woody spice. Really, man. This single malt on the nose, we haven't had the taste yet. We haven't had the taste yet, but the single malt already is blowing the blended out of the water. Man, yeah, comparing these two. This one has like I can see like the same backbone between the two. However, this one it has like a really watered down kind of confectioner's sugar sweetness to it. Like, yeah, confectioner's sugar or candy floss. What's that called? Not candy floss. Le Beer de Papa. It smells like Le Beer de Papa. Yeah, is that a surprise to me? Like creme brulee, exactly. Yeah, I shouldn't be that surprised. Well, so the regulation for this would be that it would have to be 3 years old, because that's just true across the EU. Cotton candy, yeah. That would be true across the EU. It'd have to be 3 years old. As for the E150E stuff, I don't know about that. Not sure. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's still a little sweet for my taste. It's still a little sweet. I'm not sure where that sweetness is coming from exactly. It tastes, yeah, it has a little bit of a syrupy thing to it. I'm not sure why. Both of these come off as kind of sweet to me, man. Which some people probably love. Some people probably really like that. It's not really my thing, though. I like this one, though. Like, aside from being maybe a touch sweet, it has like a deep red apple. Like a deep red apple. A hint of like a dried fruit, red apple. And then it finishes with this really nice, like that savory kind of rosemary taste. Gets amped up on the finished. The savory rosemary I had on this one. This definitely got ramped up in terms of kind of spiciness, and it adds a little bit of the black pepper. It adds a little bit of black pepper on the finish, which is awesome. Super, super awesome. Big fan of this guy. Bastille Malt for $42 online. Wow. That's a lot more expensive than I got it for. Around here, I think this one was like, I think 25 and 32. So 25 for the blended, 32 for the single malt. So, which is a little bit less. Sawyer Fam says his entry in Swillmageddon is coming next week. That's awesome. I'm excited. Also, unfortunately, entry for Swillmageddon has closed. It has closed. If you weren't in Swillmageddon by now, I'm sorry. You'll have to wait till next year. But everyone who did enter, you have until the 26th to get your entries in. So. And you know what? I'm going to be a little bit loose with that too. I'm going to be a little flexible. I know shipping right now is a pain in the ass and things aren't getting to where they're supposed to be on time. So if it makes it by like early November, we'll be cool. Andrew Sproul, is the single malt worth the extra $7? Yes. Unabashedly, yes. No doubt about that. This is so much nicer. And it blows my mind that they don't say this is sherry finished, because if you gave this to me just blind, right? I would have said this is a sherry finished like Highland malt, right? A Highland malt, maybe not first fill sherry, but like second fill sherry. That's where this is kind of edging right now, kind of like a second fill sherry. Maybe like a young Glenfarclas, except it's got a little bit more of that kind of sweet element than Glenfarclas, to be fair. I think Glenfarclas, to me, runs a little drier. So, if you like that, I'm excited. Like, this one's pretty damn good. Have any entries shown up yet? No. I'm excited for them to. I did get a couple of texts the other day saying my FedEx package was on the way, so somebody sent me something. We're going to see what happens. Yeah. I gotta say, this is pretty solid. Could it be a little less sweet? Could they have made it a little drier? Yeah, but that's kind of my preference. I could see people liking that sweeter element. Have I tried the Kings County single malt peated American whiskey? Yes, we have. I think we had this on a stream a minute ago. Me and Erica had this on a stream. God damn, this is a funky peat too. This is a funky sumbitch. Looks like I'm doing cocaine out of a flask. Yeah, that is like super like young peat. And I mean that in the best way possible. Like, I like a young peated whiskey. I prefer a young peated whiskey, as opposed to like one where they aged a lot and kind of aged the peat out of it. That's generally, you can make a pretty decent whiskey, an older peated whiskey. You can, but you're adding some complexity from the barrel by giving up your peatiness. And for someone like me, I really want just a blast of peat. So that's just me. Hey, Downer Pass Whiskey, how you doing, my man? Good to see you in. Glad to have you, my dude. All right, let's talk Bren. So Bren is actually made in the Cognac region. So that's fun. And it's actually matured in French oak and Cognac casks. I think that worries me a little bit because Cognac casks, to me, really do add a lot of that cotton candy flavoring. For me, that's what I find. They tend to add a lot of cotton candy flavor. And going by these first two whiskeys, these motherfuckers have already been pretty sweet. I would worry about adding cognac to an already sweet fucking whiskey. That might just take it over the edge. They don't actually tell us which cognac distillery makes this, though. And that is interesting to me. I'm not sure why. It just says, our family-owned distillery has been making handcraft... What? Oh, they fucked this up. Since 1920, our family-owned distillery has been handcrafting. That makes more sense. Been handcrafting small batch spirits in the Cognac region of France. They don't actually tell us which family-owned distillery. All we know is that it was made in partnership with American entrepreneur Alison Park, which, judging by the name, she's probably French-American, I would guess. Probably why she decided to make a French whiskey. Now, this is their non-age statement single malt. It is 40% alcohol. They also have a 10-year-old, the Bren 10. I think that's also the name of a handgun. The Bren 10, I think, is the name of a firearm, which maybe is unfortunate marketing, depending on, on what they wanted to make people think of. But this is their non-age statement version. I have seen the Bren 10 in America. I have. I think I had it at a whiskey fest once. The 10-year-old Bren. AJ Lopez says, yes, Bren 10's a pistol. And Dot Nishida, aloha, how you doing? Thank you for popping in. All right, let's get into the Bren real quick. Now, I did the thumbnail for the video did say A Tale of Two Whiskeys. I was just using A Tale of Two Cities. I know we've got 3 whiskeys now, but like that was just A Tale of Two Cities. Actually, I wanted to talk to you, now that we've got everybody here, we're halfway through, we've drank some whiskey. I did want to talk to everyone about that. Why are we doing French whiskey? And why was this like Tale of Two Cities, French Revolution themed? I guess it's because, and I'm going to get a little sentimental here. But I've been kind of thinking about how crazy things are right now. I was drinking and I was editing the other day. I was editing a video, and I obviously we drink when we film. Then Erica leaves, and I keep drinking while I edit. And so I'm drinking, I'm editing, and I was thinking about how crazy the world is right now with the pandemic, with, if you're in America, the election, and of course, stuff is happening with that tonight. We're not going to get into it, but, you know, just how crazy everything is. Recently, the racial violence, everything that's been happening in 2020 has just been crazy. It's just been a pain in the ass. And it made me think of that quote from Tale of Two Cities. You know, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the winter of our discontent. It was the summer of getting blowjobs. Or however that quote goes. And it made me think about how grateful I am for, like, the position I'm in right now, being able to have this right here. Like, as much as the world sucks right now, and as much as, obviously, COVID fucking sucks, and having to work retail during COVID, like I do at the liquor store, really sucks. And I'm sure a lot of you know I was in the hospital with COVID not too long ago. This year has been shit. But at the same time, the beautiful thing about it has been, this year has also been amazing, because, like, I've gotten to share it with you guys, and I've gotten to drink whiskey, and there's so much whiskey, there's so much interest in whiskey, there's so much, like, beautiful stuff happening in our community right now. And I was just thinking, like, Lou Bryson wrote an article for Whiskey Wash the other day where he was talking about, this is like the best time to drink whiskey. As much as it sucks that everything's expensive, and, you know, everyone complains about, oh, the taters are driving up prices and they're making things harder to find. And it's like, yeah, that's true. But there has never been more whiskey being made, like, at any time in history, right? From more countries in the world being made. There's never been this interest, this nerding out, this excitement about whiskey, and a community built around it. I mean, if you think about when whiskey was big before, we're talking like pre-prohibition, there wasn't an internet. There wasn't this crazy community. There wasn't this beautiful love and interest and nerding out about the stuff. Right? People just drank it to get drunk. And now, like, we can do this. Some jagoff from Wisconsin can sit here for an hour, drink French whiskey, and talk to people about it, And fucking, yeah, that's fucking amazing. That's fucking amazing. At no other point in history was this possible. Was this confluence of events possible? And as shitty as this year has been, and like as fucked up as things have been, man, I was just thinking about how much hope I have just for this community, like the Whiskey Tube community in general, like Whiskey Tube in general, for our community, the Rocket Review channel, for things are amazing right now when things are shit right now. I just, and that's a beautiful fucking thing. That's a beautiful fucking thing. Man, I don't know. And that's what that quote is. It was the worst of times. It was the best of times. Things were terrible, but that's what change is. Things change. Things get fucked up. Things get burned down and tore up and messed up. And then something new and beautiful comes out of it. Man, and as much as things are hard right now, and as much as things suck and are difficult, I really do believe, I believe in this community. I have seen so much good come from this community, just people who I would never interact with, people who have completely opposite political positions from mine, who I would have never wanted to be friends with. Guess what? Now we are friends because we have something in common, and it humanizes people. It humanizes people in a way I just haven't seen before. For the internet, usually the internet is such a shithole of motherfuckers just being asshats. And this community isn't like that. It really does humanize people, and it really does make me believe in a better future. And I'm sorry, I know I've gone off on a big tangent, but that really was the inspiration for tonight's stream. It was just that quote. It was just, I want to talk about how I'm excited and happy about whiskey, and there's more whiskey in the world than ever, and I'm happy to have you guys. And that's why that is what it is. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I went off on a big sentimental thing. So, but yes, that is where we are. Unfortunately, the chat cut out while I was giving my giant long ass speech, so I can't see whatever you said, but it looks like Sawyer Fam gave me $5. That's awesome. Thank you. Jason, thank you too. That's really cool. Thank you, my dude. You guys don't have to give me stuff, but thank you. I'm gonna have to look at my phone from now on to see whatever you guys are saying in the chat, because the chat on my computer completely died for whatever reason. But yeah, so sorry if I'm a little slow responding to people. But yeah, I wanted to say that. I've been feeling really good. I think that's a crazy thing for me too. Is like, if you know me, I've talked about my struggles with mental health before. This year could have been a really shitty year for me. Getting sick and everything. But it hasn't been. And I attribute that to this outlet, really. This outlet has been amazing for me. So I'm appreciating everything you're doing. So thank you guys. Yeah, we might have to do StreamYard for the next stream, because apparently YouTube doesn't like to work on its own goddamn setup. Woo. All right, let's talk Bren. This one, oh, dude, thank you, Floydian. Hey, Slancha Gutsa. I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you so much. This one's interesting. This one it reminds me, it actually has a little bit of a licoricey, kind of a black licorice thing going on, which is crazy. That's kind of fun. I usually don't get black licorice in single malt. That's kind of a rye kind of thing. Oh, Patrick Fulmer. Thank you so much, my dude. That's awesome. Thank you. Erica will be back next week, I promise, once she's not doing very adult things. She's holding down the fort right now. But yeah, this is sweet. This comes off as very fruity. It reminds me of, this might be a Milwaukee thing because we have so much like German influence in Milwaukee. But there's these little hard candies. They're like raspberry hard candies. They have a little bit of like a raspberry syrup in them. That's what this is reminding me of. They're like a German hard candy that you get around Christmas. And like Starburst, like a lemon Starburst. Like it's a lot of really, really sweet things. But underneath, I swear to God, there's an ever so slight, like tiny little bit of a black licorice note. I swear to God, it's like under all this sweetness, man. Yeah, snozberries. It reminds me a lot, you know what it reminds me of? Like a wheat beer. Like when you top ferment a wheat beer, I think that's how it works. I think when you top ferment a wheat beer. I may be wrong. Beer guys can correct me on that. But those wheat beers, they have a very easygoing kind of a sweet taste. But they also develop this phenolic clove. Like it's banana, but it's also clovey. That's kind of what I'm getting with this Bren. Like a lot of sweet, but just a little bit of like a clovey black licorice thing. Let's get a taste. Top fermenting is an ale. Lager is bottom fermenting. Thank you. Ever heard Starburst? Yeah, it's like a lemon Starburst. Like, it's citrusy, but it's very, very particularly lemon Starburst. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is interesting. This bread is super interesting. My first thought on this is that it tastes like, what does it taste like? Smarties. It tastes like fucking Smarties, man. That kind of that chalky breaking up hard candy. That's what it is. It's fucking Smarties. Yeah, that is fucking Smarties all goddamn day. But with a little bit of like a medicinal, it's still got a little bit of that medicinal bitter tang in the back. It tastes like kind of like cough syrup, like a really sweet cough syrup. The interesting thing though, and this was something I was talking about with our wine director the other day, is the difference between getting tasting notes that remind you of sweetness and actually getting like sugar sweetness. Because that can be two different things. I would actually say, in terms of actually getting like sugary, like that wood sugar, like actual sugar in the distillate. Yeah. In terms of actually getting sugar in the distillate, this Bren probably has, like, this Bren is more sugary, like purely sugar. Or not the Bren, the Bastille. The blended Bastille. But the difference is the Bastille doesn't have those really bright candy-y notes. It doesn't have candy notes. And this Bren really does. This Bren is super, super big bright citrus and raspberry and Smarties and yeah, holy crap. I still get a little bit of that, like a little bite on the nose, like that kind of, what do you call it? But, Sugar Kitty. Sugar Kitty is letting me know Weiss beer has an enormous amount of extra yeast as well as wheat. It's an ale, even though Bavarian, that's known for lagers. Wheat plus yeast equals esters, where you get the banana and clove. Well, now, I'm not a beer expert. I've recently been getting more into beer. My understanding was that it also develops like phenols, like kind of like an Isla. Not like an Isla in that they're smoky, but that they're actually developing kind of a spicy phenolic character. But yeah, Sugar Kitty, you sound like you know a lot more about this than me. Yeah, this is like those little, what do you call those little, I'm trying to think of, like those little fake banana candies. Those little fake banana candies, and they have the little fake grapes and the little fake strawberries. They're hard candies. They're like about that big. That's what this is reminding me of. But again, I think this is sweet. It has a lot of sweet notes. It's got a ton of sweet notes. But in terms of having actual sugar in this isn't actually that sweet in that regard. This is actually, I would probably say more like semi-sweet or even like semi-dry, because it doesn't have a ton of that, like when you drink a wine and you have a lot of that residual sugar, right? And that's what makes it come off as super sweet. In whiskey, those wood sugars can do the same thing. Those wood sugars get into your whiskey and make it taste super sweet. I don't think that's what happened here. I think with this one, you have a ton of very estery, fruity, candy notes. Probably a lot of that from the cognac cask. That cognac cask really upped that sweetness. But it doesn't actually have like a lot of sugar, like pure wood sugar in it, which I think the Bastille does. Now, to be fair though, all three of these are way sweeter than a lot of whiskey. I wouldn't say all whiskey. Like if you think about some Irish whiskey, you can get some sweetness like this. Some bourbon, you get sweetness like this. But compare this to pretty much any Scotch, any rye, these are super sweet. These are definitely super sweet. And I think someone earlier was saying like maybe because the French prefer a sweet drink. That could be. Cohen sounds overly sweet and gross. You know, I don't think it's necessarily my first choice. I think my preferred one out of these three. Actually, let's go back and taste the Bastille real quick. Oh yeah. No, there's really no contest here. If I was going to buy any of these three, I would definitely buy the Bastille. The Bastille single malt. For sure. That's not a competition. Partially because it's better, it's definitely better, but also because the Bastille single malt is like half the goddamn price. I think this one ran me $32, and the Bren ran me, 65, 70. Yeah. So, fucking A. Buy the Bastille single malt all goddamn day, because this is much more dried fruit, Christmas cake, like some nuttiness. I swear to Christ in heaven, this has got to be sherry. I can't believe that this is limousine finished. It's not sherry. That's insane. That's crazy. But whatever. I'll trust what they say on the label, I guess. Yeah, but for sure, if you're gonna buy one, Bastille single malt beats the pants off these other two. Not a competition. like between the Bastille blended and the Bren single malt, though, that's a little bit more of a competition. The Bastille, it has some nice notes, but it's very watered down. The Bren, you're gonna have to really, really like Smarties if you're gonna enjoy this son of a bitch. You're gonna have to really like this, like that kind of like sweet tart. That's what it is. It's sweet tarts. It's like sweet tarts and a little bit of black licorice. Man, that is what this shit is right here. Woo! Damn. Jason Busey, $5 coming in saying, what is the French oak they use for Balcones French oak or the Maker's Mark SE4? To the best of my knowledge, that is just European oak. I don't believe that's Limousin oak. I believe that is more generally French Quercus. What was it? Quercus Perea or Quercus Robur? One of those two. Quercus Robur or Quercus Perea. I don't remember which it was. But I don't believe it's Limousin specifically. If someone knows different, please let me know. So, but yeah, which is interesting. So many whiskeys that we have finished in French, in like French oak, here in the States, I think of as much more spicy than their counterparts. However, I'm just making words up now. Yeah, my pronunciation's not great. So, but I think of those French staves as adding a lot more spice, whereas with these ones finished in Limousin, these come off as much more sweet. That may have been an intentional part on theirs. So, Smarties and sweet tarts have the same thing: citric acid. There you go. Sugar Kitty, you must be a chemist, huh? All right. So here we go. End of the night. I'm going to give you guys a choice. What do we finish the night out with? Should we finish with... We got 3 minutes before Cliff goes on. We want to get out of here before Cliff goes on. So, are we going to finish with a little bit of Kings County? Or are we going to finish with a little bit of Malort? Your guys' call. Your guys' call. Whoever donates more. Cliff says Kings County. Oh, but he says, oh, maybe Malort. Time to put your money where your mouth is. Which one are we finishing with? Which one are we finishing with? It's a bidding war. Who wants to see me drink more Malort? Who wants me to see me drink Kings County? Quercus Robur and Quercus Perea are the two Limousin. She knows her stuff. Sugar Kitty knows her stuff. Look at her coming through. Sugar Kitty knows her shit, or his shit. It could be a him. I'm sorry. That's rude of me. I just assume kitties are female. That's sexist on my part. That could very well be a him. All right, Jason Busey came through with the $10. We're doing Kings County. We're doing Kings County because Jason Busey said so. So we're gonna call it a night. Let's get into this Kings County a little bit. You know the thing about Kings County, the peated? I like that it's young because it gives you more peat, but it also has a really, really young, grainy vibe, which is not the best. So it's kind of a double-edged sword that way, right? It's kind of a double-edged sword that way. I don't know. There has to be a sweet spot where you get that nice smokiness, but also round off the edges, right? I don't know. But people are saying, someone said both. Oh, man, Buller. Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do whiskey finished in Malort barrels. All right. But until next time, I'm going to call it a night. We got 15 seconds left. I want to get out of here so we can let Cliff get on. And until next time, thank you all for hanging out. This was kind of just a fun stream I decided to do off the top of my head. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like the video before you leave and subscribe if you haven't already. We've got a great video coming out tomorrow. A fantastic announcement, a new endeavor that Erica and I are pursuing. So you'll want to stick around for that. But until next time, make sure to stay healthy, stay safe, and stay rotten. What? YouTube, stop being YouTube. Stay rotten.